Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, I'm Karina. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. In today's video, it's kind of gonna be emotional. I'm gonna just be telling you how I became a young mom. I feel like when I did the other video, I wasn't explaining as much, or I didn't even go into detail with it, so I feel like a lot of moms can relate to what I went through, so yeah, stay tuned. Okay, I'm gonna just jump right in and start my story of what I remember, because it's kind of a long time ago, but I remember most of everything that I went through. So, and I feel like I really needed to do the video over, because when I had made the last one, it wasn't giving as much details or like anything, so I wanted to do the details because I feel like a lot of moms can relate to it. So I did get pregnant at 15. I did have her at 16. She's now 6 years old, going to be 6 years old. She's 5 right now. So when I found out I was pregnant with her, not a lot of emotions were going through my head, as much as me being kind of bitter and young, and more so trying to keep her father in my life rather than to, like, I was really young. And now I look back on it, it was kind of a stupid thing, because when I did find out I was pregnant, like, I was literally in the store, like, yay, I get to keep him, and I'm like, now that I'm like, girl, you should have sat down. When I did find out I was pregnant, I didn't get to announce it to him, because my family isn't the type of family to, I don't want to talk crap about anyone, but like, they're not the type to be very emotional or like very supportive people. So when I found out I was pregnant, Eric was going through things at the time with his family and his sisters, and a bunch of things were happening with his family. So I wasn't talking to him at the time. And my sister just has to always be in everyone's business. Like, girl, when I tell you my family is chismosa and you want to know about all of it, they're the ones to call, okay? Because my older sister messaged Eric like, well, Karina's pregnant, so you need to step up and da da da. Like, I didn't even get to tell him myself, like, and I felt like that was like hurtful. But I let it go. And honestly, I didn't even find out like that she even messaged him until months later, when he told me and showed me the messages. So I was like, oh, okay, gee, thanks. It's not your business or anything, but you're gonna message him. And then so after I told him, he didn't believe me, obviously, because he wasn't returning my phone calls for like a whole week or two. And then that is when everyone started telling him, oh, you need to break up with her, you're too young, da da da. Like, everyone was putting things in his head. So I'm like, at this point, I'm going through so much emotions. Like, I'm just found out I'm pregnant. Like, you are planning on leaving me. I did go through my pregnancy alone. The whole thing was alone. after I confirmed that I was pregnant to him, I feel like that is when he kind of distanced himself. He did go with me to the first appointment to confirm that I was pregnant. More so not for me, but for his family, because they were saying that I was lying, that I just wanted to keep him in my life, da da da. And then he was living with his family at the time, not his parents. So his family was like, oh, or one of his cousins were telling him like, oh, take a pregnancy test, have her take a pregnancy test. Da, da, da. I'm like, well, it'd kind of be useless because I'm already going to an appointment like to confirm that I'm pregnant. I've been feeling very sick since I found out I was pregnant. And after the appointment, like his family and my family were sitting inside of the waiting room waiting for me to come out. And when I did, they like gave me a little ultrasound of the baby and like a paper confirming that I'm pregnant and my due date and da da da. And I came out, and I like at that point I was just fed up. Like, you're not gonna believe that I'm pregnant, but you want to sit up there and have sex with me unprotected, and you're not gonna believe that I'm pregnant. So I was like, whatever. And then I came out and I threw the paper, like the picture of the baby, at him. I'm like, oh, so do you still want me to take that pregnancy test for you? Like, being a smart aleck to him, you know? And he just looked at me and he started crying. Like, okay, it's not a one-sided thing, you know? Like, you lie down, you know? And I felt like after that, I had to go get blood work done, like blood taken out. So I did that, and he did come with me for that because I guess his aunt had like to get something done as well on the other side of where we were. So he came with me, and then after that, when I tell you guys, like, I didn't hear from him for like weeks. I didn't hear from him for weeks. Mainly because, like I said, I'm not gonna try to like stick up for him and say, oh, it's because he was young, it was because he's young. But honestly, it is because he was young. And he did have other things going on, like I said, so he couldn't really be around. But I feel like you couldn't have made too much excuses for being where you were at the time when I was alone, depressed, going through everything I was going through. I was, young too. And going through all those emotions alone really, really effed me up, if we're being honest. On top of that, I had not only that, like, I'm pregnant. I'm very alone. Like, my family wasn't supportive. I was always locked in the room. Like, I never came out. Honestly, I never really ate much or did much throughout my whole pregnancy with Honey, because I was young, and everyone was just like, you ruined your life, you ruined your life, you ruined your life. But truthfully, I feel like Honey saved me. Like, if we're being real honest, like, she saved me. When I was like around 6-7 months, that's when Eric would come and visit, or I guess you want to say he was never at doctor's appointments or anything. Listen, I'm gonna just tell you guys, like, don't ever feel like a man is gonna stay in your life, or you're gonna keep a man by getting pregnant, or trying to get pregnant by him will make him love you more, because eventually he'll stay if he wants to stay. And I feel like if he loves you, he'll be there for you. If he doesn't, then girl, cheers to you for doing it on your own, because it's not easy. And when I was about, I want to say, I had Honey at 8 months. Um, I was still very alone at the time, because I would go to like, I would go out sometimes, like to the store or like here and there, but honestly, my whole pregnancy, I was alone, like stuck in the room, alone. I did have a baby shower, and when I tell you that I spent money and nobody came, girl, like 5 people showed up. That's how you know how alone I was, because not even his family even cared enough to come or show support. His mom was there, but she really wasn't there. Um, not a bunch of his family was there for me, which was fine because I understand. I don't really understand, but okay. Um, when I had Honey, though, a bunch of them came to see me in the hospital. Um, my delivery with her was so emotional. I was walking around Walmart. I had went to the store with my sister and them to get casserole because, girl, I was so over being pregnant. Like, I did not want to be pregnant anymore. So I went to take a really, really hot shower. I took a hot shower, and only because I was so emotional already, I wanted to relax. So I took a hot shower, or actually a hot bath. It was a bath, and girl, it was hot. I took a hot bath, and then after my sister's all like, "Hey, you want to go to Walmart with me?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." So I went to Walmart, and I went to go look for the casserole because I was actually planning on taking it that day. But then I started in Walmart having very bad contractions. But I don't know what those are. Like, this is my first pregnancy, so I don't know what it is. So I was walking around, and the more tense it got, the more I was walking, and I was like, I can't do this anymore. And so when me and my sister went home, my grandma, out of all days, this lady and my mom decided to go to the casino all night long. Yay. So my sister my sister and my cousin were all pregnant at the same time. Like, it was my sister and then my cousin and then me. So my sister ended up having her baby 3 weeks before me. My cousin ended up having her baby 2 weeks after my sister, and then me. So them two barely have newborn babies at home. It was crazy. Like, they barely had their babies. It was just me, my cousin, and my sister home. On top of that, my my house is being raided because one of my cousins or something like that, they thought that he got killed, or I don't know what it was. I don't remember because, girl, I was just screaming at the police. Like, I'm glad the police were there, because my grandma was not. And while they were raiding the house and all that, I'm still in pain, like having contractions and everything. Dude, when I tell you these contractions hit every 4 minutes or 3 minutes, 2 minutes, girl, they were so intense. I was like, I can't walk, I can't do this anymore, I'm in so much pain. And my sister couldn't do anything because she was also had her baby, so she couldn't come with me to the hospital. But she had told the policeman that was there, she was like, my sister is in labor, I think she's in labor. And so the cop calls an ambulance to the house, and I did go in an ambulance to the hospital alone, alone. And I'm so thankful for my tia. Like, she is amazing, honestly. Like, throughout my whole delivery, throughout everything, she was the only one there for me, and I appreciate her so much. I was at the hospital. I did arrive at the hospital like minutes after they called. But on my way to the hospital, girl, I've watched movies. I've watched so many movies. So I was like, are you guys gonna kill me? Are you taking me to the hospital? The guy was like, yes, ma'am, we're taking you to the hospital right now. They were young too. They were literally like my like, I want to say like in their 20s or something too. So they were like laughing the whole time. They're like, yeah, we are. I was like, okay. And then when we went, they the guy was like, how far along are your contractions? I'm like, I think 4 to 3 minutes. He's like, wow, you're really good at counting them, because that is true. I'm like, yeah, I know, I can feel it. And so I arrived at the hospital. They took me into the labor and delivery room, and then I got changed, everything. They checked me. When I tell you they checked me and it hurt so bad, girl, I was crying just because they put their fingers up me. Like, this girl put her whole hand up me, and I was only 2 centimeters dilated when I got there. Dude, I was at the hospital for, I want to say, like 2 to 4 hours by myself before even delivering. Eric wasn't answering his phone. He did end up going to go live with his dad, so his dad didn't really want him around me much. I don't know what the case was then. But so my aunt ended up arriving at the hospital with me. Shout out to her, because she is amazing. Girl, I don't know what I would have done if she wasn't there, because I was having anxiety. I was so scared. I was alone. Like, no one was there with me, you know. And then while I'm at the hospital, my cousins all, like, they showed up to Eric's dad's house, banging on his door in the middle of the night, trying to get him to go to the hospital. And his dad, of course, was like, oh no, he's sleeping. Well, wake him up. They were like, we'll wake him up. So he finally came to the hospital. It was so awkward, like the most horrible labor I've ever experienced, honestly. We weren't talking the whole time. I was squeezing his hand though, because girl, those contractions hurt so very bad. Like, it was hard. We weren't talking at all, like the whole labor, like the whole time. It was just so awkward because we weren't together, because he had left me. Like I said, we weren't together the whole pregnancy. He left, so it was very, very, very hard. And because we weren't talking, so I didn't hear from him for like weeks, you know. So that was that. And then on top of that, like, so I end up going and getting my epidural after. So him and my aunt had to leave the room prior to that for like an hour or so. And then after I got my epidural, they came back. And then sorry, honey's in the background. Honey. They came back, and then after my epidural, I felt like heaven for a good part of the time. And then not even like an hour or so after I got my epidural, I literally was like 2 centimeters. Then I went to I jumped all the way up to 7 centimeters. And then the doctors are like, oh, I'm gonna come back and check you in about 3 hours or so. I'm like, okay. Nope, didn't happen. Like, right after he walked out of the room, I felt like I had to push. He drove all the way back to his doctor's office, and then he had to come back because I was about to push her. Like, and I tell you, like, I pushed her within like 2 pushes. I was like, they're like, push, and I pushed again, and then she came out. And it was so quick, like, it was fast. And after that, I stayed in the hospital for about a week because she had jaundice very bad. She had jaundice very bad, and so they had to keep her in there for a little while. After we went home, well, his family came, my family came to see me in the hospital. His family, well, most of his family, like his aunt and grandma and a couple of people. And then after that, we went home, and I'm not even kidding you, right after I got home, like, I wasn't even unpacked or anything. I didn't even get to take her out of the car seat yet, nothing. CPS comes knocking. Like, I can, my grandma had like a 2-story house, so I can literally see the lady getting off the car, and it said, you know how it says like the, what does that say? Like the, social services on the car. I'm like, dude, I know they're not here for me right now. So I'm like, Grandma, there's a CPS worker here. And she's like, yeah, I'm going to go answer the door. So they came in, and, dude, I took Honey out of the car seat. I knew what I was doing with her. Like, I learned a little bit from, like, having my sister's kids, you know? But I didn't know much. And then, she comes in my room and she's like, oh, we just need to come make sure that you're reliable and stable enough to take care of your own baby. I know you're young, so if you need help, we can send a nurse here to come help you. I look at her, I'm like, I have family. Like, my sister's helping me. My grandma's right here. You know, if I really needed the help, I can get it, you know? She made sure that I had diapers, wipes, clothes, everything I had for Honey. And honestly, shout out to to the mommy store, because girl, if it wasn't for them, I would not have anything. I wouldn't have had anything for Honey. Like I said, Eric wasn't around, so he didn't even buy anything for her, or he didn't get anything for her. I didn't really have money to get anything because I was young. My grandma wouldn't give me money. Like, she would get money for me and wouldn't give it to me. So I didn't have the money. So with that resource place, dude, they're amazing. Like, I had diapers, wipes, everything, and my tia had bought in the car seat, so I had a car seat, and literally she had barely bought in the car seat the day I was in labor, which she's amazing for that, because no one else wanted to and I couldn't, and you know, Eric wasn't talking to me, so I didn't have a car seat at the moment. And then she like went out of her way, like, and bought one for me, which was so amazing, and I loved that, because I wouldn't have been able to bring Honey home. And she bought the car seat for me. I mainly got everything from the mommy store though, like all of my her clothes, her diapers, her wipes, her everything, like crib, everything. I had everything, and the lady was so surprised. She was like the social worker. She was like, "Wow, you have so much things for her." I'm like, "What were you expecting?" Like, I was being smart out. Like you're not gonna come in here and try to judge me just by, so, honestly, why she came, I think it was because the hospital called on me, because when we were in the hospital, they were how she had the jaundice, they had bring her back to my room. I was getting her ready so we can go home. My sister had was taking my sister Selena was helping me with her. She had walked out to go ask them a question, and then Honey started choking. Like, they told me they took all of like the mucus and everything out of her chest, and they didn't, you know, the little I want to see, what is it, I'll show you. I have it right here. It's like a little, the nose squeezers. They had they told me they used this, and they didn't take any of the mucus out. So right when my sister walked out the door, Honey started choking and turning purple. So I got so scared, I didn't know what to do. Like, I'm young, I was young, you know. I was like, what do I do? I had screamed for Selena, like loud like in there, because I was scared. Like, and I really couldn't walk, like, because I was in so much pain after having her. So I yelled, and dude, I tell you, like freaking 10 of those like nurses came running in, like, are you, what's going on? What's going on? I'm like, she's choking and she's turning purple. Dude, you can see her face like so purple. I was like, I don't know what to do. And then I think that's what triggered them into like, oh, she's not reliable to take care of her daughter, you know? So they sent someone, and I was like, girl, I'm a whole pro after a week now. Like, after having her, I don't know if it was just me, but or if it was just me, like, or if it's just moms in general that are new. But dude, right after I had her, I never got sleep again, and I wouldn't even go to sleep in the middle of the night. Like, I would just be staring at her like, wow, I made that. Like, I would I would close my eyes and then wake up right away, because even if I like heard her move just a little bit, only because I was like, oh, okay, she's awake, or like I didn't know want to mess something up, or I was just always up, like, and it was so exhausting, but I loved every moment of it. Like, I wouldn't I wouldn't trade that for the world. Um, Eric only came once in a while to see her. Um, I don't know why. He just never really came to see her much. But I was okay with it. It was okay. I was okay with just me and her, being me and her, because I just wanted that bond with her. And then even the emotions after, just it hurt so bad. Like, I'm a young mom, but you would expect the person who helped you make that baby be there for you. And that's not what you really truthfully, in real life, girl, you are not going to have fairy tales and butterflies unless you are with a perfect man, because young men nowadays, or young boys nowadays, they don't care. They'll have 4, 5, 6, 7 babies and not be there for one of them, or only be there for one of them and not the rest. So I feel like that was that. um Months later, though, I end up like getting back on track. I started you know getting better with everything, and then me and my grandma ended up getting into a huge fight, and then I got kicked out, and I was actually going place to place with Honey. um and then after that, from there, dude, it was just horrible. Okay, it was very horrible, but I pulled through. Like, I made it. Like, can't nobody tell me nothing. Like, I've been there since literally day one for every one of my kids. Like, they never go anywhere without me, unless it's literally to my sister's house um to visit or to spend the night. Ariel only. But Honey and Bea and Ariel, dude, I've never had a break. The only break I've got was like a couple, I probably like a handful of times, um, from being a mom. Um, but like, I've been here since day one, and like I told you, no man is ever gonna, help you or take care of your child or your guys' child unless he truthfully wants to. Um, After that, I end up getting pregnant at 18, 4 years ago, 3 years after Honey, or I think it was 2 years after Honey. With Ariel, she is now 3, gonna be 4. I ended up getting pregnant with her at 17, had her at 18. And that pregnancy, I was also alone. You're like, girl, you did it again? Sis, I did it again. And I'm going to tell you why. Because, okay, Honey was growing up. She was growing up, and then I ended up getting back with Eric. I ended up getting back with him, which is every young person's like thing. Like, you're going to try with the person you have a child with, or if you don't, then hey, that's fine too. And then after that, I knew in my heart like something was going on, and so we lived with his dad at the time, and then we lived in a room at his dad's house. And I knew, I just felt something. So I told my sister, like, I always tell my sister everything. So I was like, dude, I feel like Eric's cheating on me, I feel like, I just felt something. So this girl was like, oh, you want to find out? I'm like, what do you mean? And so she made like a fake account or whatever of the girl and act like she was the girl and told Eric, or was messaging Eric or whatever. I don't even remember, but she was messaging Eric or whatever. And then sorry, the sun's like in my way. She was messaging him, and then after that, he comes and dude, okay, prior to this, he had 2 phones at the time. I didn't even know this. Like, his dad, I guess, went and bought him another phone without me knowing. Like, for a whole week, he was acting like he was using his phone that I knew about, and he really wasn't. He was using the new phone. And I was like, is what? So I had access. I was wondering, why did he leave his phone here today? You know, like, his phone was left on the bed under the pillow. And so I was like, well, okay. So I went on his phone, and what do you know? Yes, I did catch him talking to this girl from, I guess, he went to high school with. And I actually messaged her on my Snapchat. Well, I found it on his Snapchat, but I got her username and stuff, and I had put it on my Snapchat. And I messaged her, and I'm like, do you know he has a family? Do you know that he's with me? Da da da. She's like, girl, like, she screenshotted all the conversations with him and sent them to me. And she's like, girl, he's the one who's over here, like, oh, you're beautiful, da da da. And Eric he was the one talking to, like, trying to get at her and stuff, knowing that I live with him, and we have a whole baby together. Like, I was like, okay. So I didn't even, bring that up to him, because I just, at that point I didn't even want to start anything with him. And that kind of because, like, my family wasn't talking to me, so I just didn't want to be alone, so I just let that pass. And then after I found out that he was actually talking to the girl he left me for, he was actually really talking to her, and he told me himself, like, yeah, I was, da da da, like, okay. And so he felt guilty about it, so he threw me out of his dad's house. I moved back into my grandma's house, and I didn't talk to him for, like, a long time, like, probably like a half a year. I want to say we weren't together. Honestly, like, 9 months was so hard. Like, I remembered that, like, 9 months, like, it was so hard, mainly because I attached myself to this person. I gave my love to you. I gave everything to you for all these, time, and then you go and do me like that. So, for the whole time he told me he wasn't with this girl, right, literally, like, 4 days after I moved out, I seen him post up a picture with her. What? You can't do me like that? Okay, so, my grandma didn't want me in her house, so I had no choice, and my cousin had offered me to move to Barstow with her. And she's like, you can come stay with me, and I'll help you with your baby and everything. Girl, I had no other choice. I didn't have no one else, My mom obviously doesn't have a home, Like, everyone lived with my grandma. So I was like, okay, whatever. So I end up going to stay in Barstow, and that was my last choice. Like, I was gonna take my daughter regardless. I'm not leaving her behind with you. So he didn't really care anyways. I would come down once in a while to see, so he can see her. But he was still with the other girl. This, mind you, he's already 17. This girl is like, what, 13? Girl, you can't leave this for what? I'm just kidding. It really hurts to talk about it. I'm literally trying not to cry right now, because it did hurt a lot. Like, I had to literally move 4 hours away from the only place I know, I had to move away, and then over there I had gotten a job. I was doing good, and then I couldn't take it. Like, I was so very, very depressed. Like, some days I didn't even want to get out of bed and go to work, but I did it because my daughter needed me, and so I couldn't. I begged my grandma to let me move back in. It didn't work out again, so I had to move right back to Barstow, and then I came back after that because I just couldn't. Like, I couldn't. I ended up actually moving house to house after that. Well, I stood at my grandma's for a while, and actually I turned 18 at the time. So she wanted me to get on welfare, and I didn't want to be on welfare. I don't want to be like you guys, you know? So I was like, no, I don't want to get on welfare. And then, so she kicked me out. But before she kicked me out, like three weeks, not even 3 months before she kicked me out, Eric had came over, and I was already, honestly, I was already doing me. I was not doing like as in being with people, but I was like talking to friends. I was, going out back to church. I was taking Honey out. I was moving on with my life. Eric would see Honey here and there, and when I moved back, we made a decision that he would get her every Saturday, or Friday, and bring her back Saturday morning. So we did that for months. Okay, and then he wants to call me out of the blue talking about, hey, can I come see Honey? Girl, it is 11 o'clock at night and you want to come see Honey? I'm like, all right, bet. I'm like, she's awake, but you're going to have to come inside because it's too cold to take her out. Bitch, that was my bad. I should have never said that. Because you guys know what went down. Honey ended up going to sleep. And then I ended up pregnant with my second child. Number 2. I ended up pregnant with Honey. I mean, not Honey. I ended up pregnant with Ariel. I didn't tell no one until I was 3 months. You know why? I actually did. I told my best friend at the time. I was like, dude, I think I'm pregnant. He's like, let's go buy pregnancy tests. I'm like, okay. Dude, he went and bought me pregnancy test. I took them, and it did come out positive. But I already knew I was pregnant because, for one, I wasn't being with anyone, so I wasn't on birth control. Like, I didn't need the birth control. So I, got off of it, I didn't need it. And then, so I knew I wasn't on birth control. You didn't use a condom, so, obviously, you nutted in me, so that was that. I ended up pregnant, and then I didn't even tell him until 3 months because I was like, I'm scared. I'm gonna go through this again. The whole time that was going through my head, you know what? I can't do this. I can barely handle Honey. I'm gonna just put the baby up for adoption. And I was thinking adoption, and then I finally came out and told my grandma had threw me out. And I was like, dude, I'm pregnant. You're going to throw me out? She's like, you're pregnant. You're pregnant? All of them said that, you're pregnant? I'm like, yeah, I'm pregnant. And then we got in a huge fight. I was pregnant. And she put her hands on me. At this point, I was already 5-6 months pregnant. She put her hands on me. So 5-6 months pregnant, I'm throwing out. I'm in the middle of the street, my daughter, I'm in the middle of the street, or I'm not in the middle of the street, I'm in the streets, going house to house. Sorry, that's bad. I can't even count how many times or how many houses I was at. I can't even count how many houses I went to pregnant and have Honey with me. Eric wasn't with me. He didn't care that I was homeless or going house to house because, well, he wasn't a man, so he didn't care. After that, he would help me with diapers and stuff once in a while, but then I did have to get on what is that? I did have to get on what is it called? What is that? Welfare. I did have to get on that, which is so embarrassing to say, and I don't even understand why I'm so embarrassed. Because it's not like I was on it forever. But even everyone tells me, what are you so embarrassed for? You're not living off of it forever, But I was very embarrassed. When I would go and buy Honey diapers and stuff, girl, I didn't even want to use that card. Just pulling it out was just, embarrassing. I don't know. And then after I did that, I ended up, I was still homeless, going house to house. And then my sister had asked one of her boyfriend's cousins if he had an extra room open, so I went to go stay there with Honey, and I paid him rent. Girl, I was already 7 months pregnant with my daughter. You know, I don't have the time to sit around and have weed and all that stuff around my daughter, so, or drinking or beer and all that. So I would go to my I was on this program at the social worker's office. I don't know what the heck that thing's called, the welfare office. I was on like this program. They were helping me look for a place. They were even driving around with their, like, they would pay for the gas and everything to help me look for a place. And then my final option was, because I didn't want to get my daughter taken when, like, if my worker would, like, show up to the place that I was at, and girl, there was like weed and all that stuff everywhere. I was like, I'm not trying to get my daughter taken. So I was doing everything I could to get out of this situation. And after I got out of it, I end up my work was like telling me, like, you know what, you're gonna end up just going all the way to Orange County. There's like this program for mothers and children, da da da. I'm like, girl, I tried this before moving out of town and it didn't work. Like, I don't know what was it, but so I had told Eric, like, you make enough money to get an apartment. Like, I am on welfare right now, so we can make it work, like, with the thing. And at that time we were together, but we really weren't together. Like, we were talking, because I had told him I was pregnant again, and the girl he was with dumped him. So who is he gonna come back to? I know what you're thinking. So he came back or whatever. I had found a little apartment, and it was a 2-bedroom, and then we moved in together. We still weren't, like, together. He was still doing his own thing, and I was just, like, being mom. And then after that, we, like, just got back together, and then yeah, we ended up having Ariel at the new house that we were at. And I wasn't homeless no more. And prior to that, I didn't have no one else. Like, at that time, I wasn't talking to any of my family. Like, for about a whole year, I wasn't talking to any of my family. No one even called to check on me. After my grandma threw me out, like, I cut everyone off. Like, everyone. Like, no one called to check on me. No one paid attention to me. No one even, like, nothing. No one even knew I had my daughter, my Ariel. No one even knew I had her until, like, weeks later, or I don't know. Oh no, my grandma and my Aunt Monique had shown up to the hospital without me knowing. And it was very awkward because, like I said, I hadn't talked to my grandma in so long after she threw me out. It was just like, why are you gonna show up acting like you care when you told me when I was pregnant with her, like, you hope I die having her? Okay. But I let it go. Whatever. It was that, And then fast forward, boo, I had my third. I'll tell you guys about that later, though, because this video is going to be really, really long. So, yes. If you want that video, I will give it to you later on. I will make another video about that. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'm hoping some of you can relate to my situation. And if you're new here, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Join the gang, girl, because we need you. And I appreciate you guys all for watching my videos. And I'm sorry about the quality, but I'm getting it fixed. I promise. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.